Okay, good morning my 111 students. So this video is a very short one about vatable transactions, and I hope this could help you in your answering of the activities and also with your exam. So these are actually already applications which I believe that you also have studied your SIM discussion. So transaction. On February 2, 2020, sold merchandise amounting to 200,000 with terms cash on delivery less 5% FOB destination freight prepaid, and the freight paid is 12,000. So this transaction, the journal entry is to debit cash 190,000. So the 190,000 is computed less of the 5% discount because that is actually a trade discount. So the invoice price is the deducted na siya kanang 5%. So credit sales 169,643. That is because there is a VAT output. So the VAT output is 20,357. So to compute the how did we get those amount for sales and for the VAT output? So it means to say that the 190,000 is already inclusive of tax. So that is actually normally. So if the problem is silent or did not mention, so that means VAT inclusive or VAT included. So to split the amount of VAT from the cash received of 190,000, so 190,000, we divide it with 1.12 so that the 169,643 is the sales, and then the VAT output is 20,357. So if you actually try to test it, so 169,643 times 0.12 of VAT, so that is still 20,357. And then to record the freight paid, so freight out 10,714, and then VAT input 1,286, and then cash of 12,000. So the 12,000 of freight is still actually inclusive of VAT. So meaning VAT is already included in the 12,000. So to get the VAT input and the freight out, so 12,000 divided by 1.12, so the amount is 10,714. So that is the freight out. And then 10,714 minus your 12,000, so that's 1,286. That is the amount of your VAT input. Next is when the customer returns some defective merchandise with a list price of 20,000. So first, because this is list price, we get first the amount of the invoice. So 20,000 times 0.95, that is 19,000. So we will credit the cash of 19,000. So that's credit. So the cash is 19,000 on the credit side, and then divide it by 1.12. So to get the 16,964 of sales returns and deduct 19,000. So you get the 2,036 pesos, which is the VAT output. So that means to say that the 19,000 should be split with the value of the sales returns and the VAT output. Another illustration. So in here now we are seller. So sold merchandise amounting to 300,000. The terms is 210 and 30. FOB destination freight prepaid. The freight paid is 16,000. So the journal entry. So we have, since we have no trade discount here, so and this is on account, so the accounts receivable we have to debit is 300,000, and then the 300,000 is inclusive of VAT. So meaning to say we have to split how much is the value of sales and how much is the value of your VAT output. So to get that, we have 300,000 divided by 1.12. So the sales is 267,857. Then minus 300,000, so you get the value of the VAT, which is 32,143. And by the way, 12% is the VAT rate. So that's why the 300,000 is 112% because that is inclusive of the VAT. So that's why to get or to split that amount, how much is the sales value and the VAT output, so we have to divide it by 1.12 to get the sales. Next is for the freight out. So the freight paid is 16,000. So credit cash of 16,000. And then the cash paid includes the VAT. So 16,000, to split the 16,000 into how much is the freight out and how much is the VAT input. So 16,000 divided by 1.12. So the freight out is 14,286. And the VAT input is 14,286 minus 16,000. So that's why you get 1,714 for the VAT input. Next is the customer returns some defective merchandise, 50,000. So, the value of the sales, we will first credit the accounts receivable of 50,000. So, credit accounts receivable of 50,000 and that is inclusive of VAT. So, divide it by 1.12. So, the value of our sales returns is 44,643 because 50,000 divided by 1.12, that's the amount, 44,643. And then deduct 44,643 from 50,000 to get the VAT output to be debited, which is 5,357 pesos. Next is when we collected the account of customer within the discount period. So our accounts receivable after the returns is 300,000 minus 50,000. So we shall collect 250,000. So credit accounts receivable of 250,000. And then because there is a discount of 2% within 10 days. So our assumption here is that we collected the account of the customer within the discount period. So 250,000 times 0.98. So that is 245,000. So debit cash. We collected 245,000. That is 98% of the 250,000 because there was a less 2% discount. And then the discount of, so the 250,000 times 0.02, that's the sales discount inclusive of the VAT. So therefore, to split, to get the sales discount, divide it by 1.12. So the sales discount is 4,464. And then another debit is your VAT output on the discount. So we have 4,464 minus the 5,000. So we get the 536 pesos of VAT output. Another transaction. So we are the buyer here. Purchased merchandise amounting to 300,000 terms 210 and 30 FOB destination shipping point freight collect. And then the freight paid amounted to 9,000. So our accounts payable here is 300,000. So we credit accounts payable 300,000. And then 300,000 divided by 1.12. So we get the value of the purchases, which is 267,857. And then 267,857 minus 300,000. So we get 32,143, which is the VAT input to be debited. So please remember, it did not mention whether it is VAT inclusive or VAT exclusive. So assume that that is VAT inclusive because if it is VAT excluded, it will say so. So the assumptions here will always be VAT inclusive if there was no mention that the VAT is not yet included. Okay? Next is for the freight paid. So the amount of cash paid is 9,000. So credit cash 9,000. And then to get the value of the freight in, so 9,000 divided by 1.12. So 8,036 pesos. Then 9,000 minus 8,036 pesos of freight in. So the VAT is actually 964. So debit VAT input 964. Another is to continue the return of defective merchandise to supplier amounting to 15,000. So we will debit accounts payable amounting to 15,000. Then to get the value of the purchase returns and allowance, so 15,000 divided by 1.12, so we get 13,393 pesos of purchase returns and allowance. Then minus it to 15,000, so we get the value of the VAT input to be debited. So 1,607 at credited, sorry, VAT input to be credited 1,607. Next is paid the supplier the amount due to supplier within the discount period. So let's compute for our accounts payable. So accounts payable of 300,000 minus the accounts payable debited of 15,000. So the accounts payable we will have to pay is 285,000. So debit accounts payable 285,000. And then times 0.98 because this will be the amount of cash we will pay. So the amount of cash that we will pay is 279,300. So 279,300 minus 285,000 is equal to 5,700. So now your 5,700 will be is inclusive of VAT. So divide it by 1.12. So 5,089 pesos is your purchase discount, and then VAT input is 611. So how did we get the VAT input of 611? That is your 5,700 divided by 1.12. So 5,700 minus 5,089 pesos, so that's 611. Additional examples in the computation of VAT output or VAT input. So actually, VAT output when it is sales, when it is purchases, VAT input. Determine the amount of VAT output and the amount of sales to be recorded in the following sales transaction. So invoice price, sales, and then VAT output. Number 2, 320,000 invoice price, sales, 34,286.